Hey, yo, salute to the people. It's the social forecast. Today is Sunday, March 29th, 2020. Um, I got something I want to talk to y'all about. Let's talk relationships. Um, so everybody's in self-quarantine. We're all practicing social distancing. And something occurred to me. It's a lot of relationships out here holding on by a thread, barely making it, but under the disguise of the day-to-day, the busyness of life and work and moving around and, doing things with the kids and paying bills and going to the gym and, whatever other things keep us busy outside of work every day of our lives on a daily basis. Under the disguise of those things, under the protection of those things provide enough of a distraction on a consistent enough basis that the vast majority of us in our relationships think that we're happy or think that our relationship is healthy or successful, because there are enough distractions to get you long enough through the day that by the time you get home to settle down, to get ready for, the next day and to wind down and get ready for bed, that last hour or 2 hours left that most people have to spend with their partner, it's enjoyable because you're so tired and drained. Usually for most people, there's not enough time to focus on the negative, or usually for most people, there's not enough time to focus on what needs to be done, what may not be getting done. But I have a feeling that during this social distancing, this self-quarantine, a lot of relationships are hitting a lot of rocks right now. We're in shallow waters right now. And I would venture to say that this can be made to be a positive, or at the very least, it can be made to be an eye-opener. So here's my advice. If after the last 2 weeks of being in self-quarantine, we got about another month left for all the parents out there, schools, at least where I am, are going to be closed through May 4th. And your partner, your significant other, I've had a couple weeks, to enjoy this is, for those of us who are not essential employees, you've had a couple weeks to kind of be home with each other for a little more time. And 2 weeks is about the novelty period, right? It's about matter of fact, I'm gonna say a week is about the novelty period. That first week is so exciting. You're happy to be home, and oh my God, there's so many things we could do around the house. You might spend the first few days cleaning, whatever, then watching movies, hanging out, is what it is. After that first week, now it's like, okay, now I'm with this person who I might have been with for several years, and now it's just me and this person. And now here's where you start to realize where the underlying issues are, what you may really have in common, or might have thought you had in common before, but now that novelty is wearing off because now you're not distracted by the busyness of life. It's just you and that person. If y'all don't have kids, and if you do have kids, that's a little bit more of a distraction. So you might get another week of a grace period. But now we're getting into the thick of this shit, basically. We got let's say another month, at least another couple weeks, right? Things still aren't open yet. We still have the standing order to kind of stay indoors as much as possible. And there's really no foreseeable into it, at least for the next couple weeks to a month. So let's say this continues. How long before people really start to realize, what I thought this relationship was, it really isn't that. What I thought was a happy relationship, there's a lot of things here how did we miss these things? It's because of the busyness of life. It's those distractions. It's work. It's worrying about the bills. It's only having that hour or two in every 24-hour period to really be with that partner, one-to-one, one-on-one. You can't include date nights. You can't really include, situations where you're going out to dinner or you're going out to the movies, because it's a different environment. So you're not really focused on those things for the most part. But when you're home with a person, close quarters, even the best of situations and the healthiest of relationships and the closest of couples is going to put a strain after a while, because you're sharing those close quarters with that person. But once you start to remove all the distractions that life has to offer, once you start to remove all of the things that serve as a convenient cushion to help soften the reality that can be very harsh, that a lot of us are not really compatible but just coexisting, that's when shit starts to get real. So Just as an eye opener, pay attention to your relationship, see what's really going on now. Sit down and have a conversation with your partner. Maybe see if you two are even able to have conversation, because a lot of people don't know how to communicate. A lot of people can't have conversations. Really start to realize who you are as a person, what you've been missing, what you might have thought you had because of all the distractions, and what you really have now under a new lens of a harsh reality of this whole pandemic that has gotten everybody to really slow down. This is really the first time in a very long time that we've had to slow down, and the world is moving slower. It's not a lot of flights going out. People aren't moving around as much, and people aren't as busy as we typically are. The world is moving very slow for this time period. So allow yourself some time to catch up and see what you might have been missing or overlooking, or things that you might have been meaning to get to within yourself or within your relationship that you may have had to put off because life just moves too fast. Shit's going slow now. Pay attention. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's the Social Forecast. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. See you on the next one. Peace and love.